A major announcement from Xcel today. The power company is set to pay $640 million as part of a settlement stemming from the deadly Marshall Fire. That fire started in December of 2021, destroying more than 1,000 homes and businesses in Boulder County, causing billions of dollars in damage. A 2023 report later found that an Xcel power line fed the blaze. However, with this new agreement, Xcel says it admits to no wrongdoing. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. This settlement comes as Xcel was preparing to head to trial, that close. 9 News investigative reporter Kevin Vaughn joins us now. Kevin, this settlement became very public today. What can you tell us about the timing of the agreement?
Well, Phil and Kim, you just said it. This case was set to go to trial. Jury selection was actually set to start tomorrow in what was going to be a long and drawn-out court case. The Marshall Fire initially started on a religious group's property. Hurricane-force winds fanned embers left from a fire they'd had there a few days earlier. But a 2023 report also blamed Xcel for a second start upwind from that original blaze. Xcel has always disputed that, but settled the lawsuit today. Former Superior Mayor Clint Folsom told us the news was welcome.
What we heard time and time again through in the aftermath of the disaster, people wanted to get their lives back. They wanted to get rebuilt and they wanted to get their lives back. And a lengthy trial of years would not be part of that process.
You noted that Xcel admitted no wrongdoing in this settlement. It asserted again today that its equipment had nothing to do with the cause of this terrible fire. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Okay, so Kevin, $640 million seems like a whole lot of money. How does Xcel pay for this? And please tell me it's not going to be raising my rates.
Kim, Xcel said today multiple times that it would not raise rates. It's going to have $350 million of this settlement paid by insurance. And in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission today, Xcel said it would take a $290 million charge against revenues. That's a way of saying that they're taking it out of the profits for this quarter.
All right, so Kevin, how's the money going to be divided?
Phil, we don't know that at this point. It's probably going to be complicated. There's likely to be non-disclosure agreements among all these parties, but there's likely to be money going to some of those who lost their homes and to insurance companies that help rebuild homes and to attorneys. How it's going to be broken down, we don't know, and we may never know.
And you mentioned that all the parties, right? So there's two other telecommunications companies involved here?
Yes, 2 other telecommunications companies were named in this lawsuit. They are a part of the settlement. We got a statement a little while ago from Qwest, which said that they would soon be settling this. This, of course, is an agreement in principle. It's still not finalized, but it's very close to being resolved.
All right. So much to read through. We're glad it's you, not me. I know that. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Our team coverage continues with 9 News Investigates. Our Chris Vanderveen is joining us. So assigning blame in this fire. You did this incredible documentary with Chris Hansen, tracing the ignition points of this fire. It's all over the place.
Yeah, and the problem with that is that there's clearly 2 origin parts of this fire. There's one to the north and there's one to the south. So let's take a closer look at what happened, when it happened, and what role that played in a very, very complicated case.
We may not have.
I don't think we have that yet.
We're coming to it, though.
No, so while we're waiting, if we're going to be able to get it, let's talk about what is in the piece that we're trying to show right now.
Well, let's talk about, there's one of the complicating factors of the Marshall Fire is that there was 2 origin spots. There's one earlier in the day, right around 11 o'clock, that starts right around what's called the 12 Tribes location. It's a religious organization that had that property days before the fire really got going. There was a trash burn. They were burning lots of wood in that area. That's one of those origins. But about an hour later, right next to an Xcel power line, and there's some disagreement as to what caused that Xcel power line to spark and what led to all that, and Xcel certainly challenging that. But because of that, Xcel said, hey, we're going to challenge that. But now it goes to court, and now we just have a really, really complicated case.
2 days before the end of 2021, and in between the cities of Denver and Boulder,
The Marshall Fire burned more properties than any fire had ever done in Colorado history. But in order to understand it, you must first understand this. The fire itself was the byproduct of two fires that merged that day. Let's start here, 11:19 a.m.
Oh my God, I can see flames.
Ann Michaels records this video of a property owned by a religious group known as 12 Tribes. 8 minutes later, and from a different vantage point, Jack Palmer records this video. This is the start of what investigators will later call the El Dorado Springs Fire.
A massive brush fire that is threatening our house and other houses.
Investigators are certain this fire was the result of an attempt days earlier to burn fencing material, tree branches, and other junk on the 12 Tribes property. It apparently smoldered for days. At 11:46 a.m., this fire is no monster. Makia Minich recorded this video of it from the east.
And it's Colorado, it was warm, we're used to wildfires in general.
Oh, wow.
We know as noon hits, it's the only fire burning. And we know that because at 12:05 p.m.,
Oh, no.
Edward Harrell records this video of the power line in question. You can see the El Dorado Springs fire burning to the east. This video does present a critical clue as to the potential origin of the second fire. See that power line? It's down there. It's supposed to be up there. This is the east phase of Xcel Energy Circuit 1161. Investigators will later find evidence of electrical arcing here. Oh! Similar to what Harrell recorded 2 minutes later in a different spot. Not until 12:21 p.m. do we see evidence of that second fire, the trailhead fire, burning quickly. Investigators didn't exactly zero in on the spot right away because days after the fire, and unbeknownst to investigators, Xcel Energy reattached the line to its crossarm. Essentially, the line went back up. All of this is to say, assigning specific blame solely to Xcel was never going to be simple at trial. And Xcel points out the settlement is not an admission of responsibility, but the settlement itself accounts for roughly 1/3 of total reported insurance claims. As costly of a fire as the state has ever seen, a fire that burned more than 1,000 homes in less than 24 hours, a fire that will not soon be forgotten in this spot between Denver and Boulder. And you look at that map, it's not a huge area that burned, but there were so many homes in that area. That's what caused all that destruction. Xcel Energy continues to dispute its equipment was involved in the second ignition. And now that there's a settlement, a jury's not going to get the chance to agree or disagree with that assertion. That's an important element of this, is that sometimes with these settlements, we're not going to get great answers. And it appears as of right now, we may not get a great answer as to the specific cause of this. We know what the two origins spots in particular, we know exactly where those are.
And quite frankly, sometimes that's the point of a settlement, but at least people will be taken care of.
There's some compensation and there's a little bit of closure here, but man, this has been years in the making.
4 years.
4 years.
And for a lawsuit, I don't know that that feels that long, but what does feel long is there are still lots of people that haven't finished rebuilding.
There's lots of people.
That's the thing.
There's lots of people that were never really made whole in all of this. Is that
No.
insurance didn't cover everything. We've covered over the years all of the problems, the snafus with insurance. It's still a mess. Getting your life back in order hasn't really happened, but man, at least this is something moving in a direction.
And a lot of times people will never be made whole, unfortunately, in some of these.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, thank you.
You bet.
Let's take a live look outside. Oh, is it so different than yesterday? Look at that blue, blue, blue skies. We really dried out after 24 hours of rain. It was the wettest day in Denver in 2 years since June of 2023.
And what is it they say, you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes? Today, we warmed up a little bit, and we will warm up actually more as we head toward the weekend, which is really nice, Chris.
You know, Phil, I'm originally from the East Coast. I know you are as well. I feel like that 5 minutes thing is used for everywhere in the country.
Everywhere I've ever lived, someone has said that to me, whether it's here, Boston, Miami, New York, whatever.
It's the dumbest thing, but in Denver, it's actually for real. In Denver, this is the founding place for that. We can get some really dramatic temperature drops. Trust me, Phil, you're about to see some wild, fun weather here in Denver, Colorado, and it won't hold the candle to Boston, New York. I can tell you that firsthand. Upper 60s, low 70s right now around the metro area. Lots of sunshine out there. We picked up all that rain yesterday. great news here, folks, right? We didn't have to deal with headaches. We didn't have to deal with flooding. We didn't have to deal with severe weather. We just got a lot of that beneficial water without the headaches. Great news for us. Drought-busting rainfall. We've already seen our wettest September in Denver since the 2013 floods. So our wettest September in a dozen years for us. But radar quiet as can be right now. Temperatures, it's beautiful out there. 60s, 70s. Honestly, I'm jealous of everybody outside right now. I would love to be as well. 50s, 60s in the high country. And that forecast we head over the next few hours. It will get chilly for us tonight. We will have some frost concerns in a few areas in the mountains and in southern Colorado. In Denver, we don't have to worry about frost or freeze concerns yet. What we do have to concern ourselves with, maybe some showers and storms in the mountains for Sunday and into next week. I'll tell you about those coming up in my full forecast.
Thanks, Chris. Tonight, Greeley police are looking for a man who was recently released from jail because of state laws relating to mental competency.
Right, and just 2 weeks ago, the sheriff and district attorney in Weld County said the man is dangerous, but the law required his release. 9 News investigative reporter Jeremy Hohola joins us now from Greeley with the latest. Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right, Phil. Just 2 weeks ago, this guy became the center of controversy over the state's mental competency laws. The sheriff's office says they had no choice but to release this guy from jail. And now he's wanted after police say he was spotted with the gun inside the student apartment complex here on UNC's campus. His name is Efren Dibisa, age 21. Back in April, he was charged with attempted murder, but then released from jail 2 weeks ago because he was found not competent and there was no available treatment for him. The sheriff said because of that, they had to release him under the law. Flash forward to yesterday here at the Arlington Park Apartments. A court document we've obtained says 2 students who live here and know this guy let him right inside the complex. The documents say Dibisa was then seen on his social media page showing off an AR-15 style gun in a video recorded inside this complex. Campus police then responded to someone who called them anonymously, but by the time police arrived, this guy was gone. Here's what the sheriff's office said 2 weeks ago about Dibisa.
We're releasing someone that we don't think should be released. We're releasing someone who is a danger to the community.
And according to these court documents, Dibisa was actually banned from the campus here about 3 years ago because of a burglary at a bookstore. And because of that ban remaining in place, police were able to immediately issue a warrant for his arrest for trespassing. He also may face some gun crime charges if caught. So we'll see if police are able to catch this guy again. We're live in Greeley. Jeremy Hohola, 9 News.
Again. All right, Jeremy, thank you. Today marks 2 weeks since a 16-year-old shot 2 classmates at Evergreen High School. Tomorrow is a big day for the entire community and especially for the students who will return for the first time.
Before that, today, Evergreen Parks and Rec offered a day at the lake for the students just to be together.
And we wanted to provide some kind of normalcy for them, a place so they could be together with their friends, enjoy the nature, do something different. So just get outside on the paddle boards on the lake and be in their community.
Students are going to have a slow transition back to class. Families also have a chance to visit the building from 5 to 8 tomorrow. As for tomorrow, students won't have class. We'll only be going back to the building for partial days. Classroom learning will start on Monday.